Hello. I hope you have these because I'm going to incorporate this into our delicious recipe today. Today's a very special recipe, going on since really 2006. Been a huge supporter of Kids Food Basket and love them. And right now we got to keep our kids fed. And so Denise Wahlberg from Fustini's is doing a match of $5,000 for everybody that donates, which I think is awesome because I have a kitchen full of Fustini stuff. I love them. And so I thought, you know what? Why don't I say thank you, incorporate their stuff in a killer bread pudding recipe, and also use up that Van's pastry that I need to use up because I've got 4 sourdough rolls here, which are delicious still. But you know what? They've been out of the freezer for a while. I can easily make a yummy bread pudding based on any one of these flavors, but I'm going to do more of a coffee flavor. And so I'm going to just crack a couple eggs here, right? And I've got 2 eggs, and it's a real simple recipe for bread pudding. I always say 2 cups of milk, 2 eggs, and a bunch of old stale bread, and anything you want to do to put in it is awesome. And so what you want to do is you want to beat your eggs real quick. You can use a fork. You don't have to have a fancy colorful whisk, but my wife loves me and she bought this for me, so I thought I'd show her my love and appreciation for it. And then it takes about a half a cup of sugar. You can do a little bit more if you want it more sweet, but I'm just going to do this because that's about all sweet I need because I'm putting in a ton of fresh berries. And I'm going to put in some cinnamon. Now what I do is when my cinnamon gets down to about half or so, or maybe actually a quarter, I'll add sugar to the shaker because then I've got a little bit of cinnamon sugar, which is great on toast or coffee in the morning or anything that you need that little dash of sugar on. And I always like to, when I'm making this batter, kind of make sure that everything's incorporated in the eggs because your cinnamon will have a less likely chance of floating to the top. And I'm doing about 2 cups of milk here. You can definitely use heavy whipping cream or whatnot, but if you don't have either or, just use either or. I don't care if you have half and half in the fridge. Don't use the creamers though, because the creamers may not be 100% dairy, and it might mess up the recipe. So with that being said, I've got my egg mixture here, and literally, you guys, I wish you could see these. These strawberries have seen better days. I'm literally going to just top them off, and I'm quartering them so they're about the size of my raspberries. When I did takeout the other day, from City Built, they sent us home all this amazing fresh cut pineapple with their order. So I'm just gonna dump that in there because why not? I hear pineapple and strawberries go together. And I'm just cutting these any way that you'd want to see them on your fork, basically. So it's just that easy. So we're going here, and I hope everybody's staying home. I did make a little emergency stop to give blood today because you know what? I think everybody should be comfortable doing what they can do to help out. And if you're comfortable giving blood, then go ahead, give blood. If you're comfortable doing takeout as a restaurant, go ahead, please do that. If you're comfortable staying home, which I primarily am, that's okay too. Do what you can. Don't let anybody judge your actions right now because you know what? We don't need that. Right now we need empathy and love and a ton of grace and a ton of appreciation. So I'm dumping in the old raspberries and I'm dumping in a bunch of blueberries because they're delicious. They still look good, but I wanted to give it a pop. And I'm just stirring it up. And now I'm taking my stale bread, and just all I'm doing is when I'm dealing with rolls, I like to cut them like a hamburger bun, right? And notice I'm using a chef knife. You can definitely use a bread knife for this because you know crumbs are okay. But if you use a chef knife, you're going to get less crumbs and less tearing, which I just want the pieces to be more uniform because I'm a chef, but you could literally tear this bread up. I don't care. I'm totally cool with that. And you'll put all the breadcrumbs in there because, you know, my mother being Italian, we never wasted anything, which is perfect for these times. I want to give a shout out to all my friends and all the people that are reaching out. I'm really doing this for mental health. If you didn't know it, this has just been so great. You know, we're all trying to do what we can do. We're all gonna fall. And last night, I kind of fell pretty hard when my daughter cut her own hair, which is thank God it's like mine. It's all curly, but I don't know if I was angry because I was like not paying attention to her at the time she was cutting her hair, or that she's 3 years old and I've like, you know, no concept of what a 3-year-old is thinking, especially as immature as I am. I have a hard time believing that. But you know what? It's okay. And it's okay to be scared right now. And it's okay to get angry about stuff. And it's just, it's easy to fly off the handle. And I've done it a couple times already. And I'm really just working on it. And there's a ton of resources out there to help everybody. My resource happens to be my kitchen. And we're going from there. And we're also having Ainsley set up her stuff on the other side of the butcher block now, so that Daddy has his space and Ainsley has hers. So look at this. All I'm doing here, which is really cool, is again. Oh, by the way, these bags are the best, like small trash can liners, or if you have kids, God forbid, you need little bags for anything. Back in my day, they were Bout liners. I'm gonna take off my watch. Of course, I washed my hands earlier and it's a silicone watch, but this is when I really like to get my hands into it. Because one, Van's sourdough is like a sponge. It's that sour bacteria that aids in the leavening, and so we can really have some fun with it. Two, I've got a dollop of butter in my baking dish, and I'm using like an old school, been beat up around the block roasting dish because I don't know, I feel like I'm my mom using old stuff in my kitchen, because she would totally be in the kitchen right now, cooking up a storm for an army, even if it was just my dad and her, because, you know, maybe that's where I get this DNA of hospitality. So now I've got all this deliciousness. Before I get both hands all dirty, I'm going to grab a towel now, and I'm gonna get the lid off here, which I should have loosened up earlier. Sorry, not sorry, you guys, but back off, we're in a thing. I'm calling this my Quarantini little beanie from Fustini, right? Oh, damn. Oh, I don't know what you do to this coffee vinegar, but this dipped in strawberries, which is an old Italian favorite of balsamic and strawberries, is like the best thing ever. It's like having an espresso after dinner. But I'm gonna drizzle that because what a lot of people don't realize is, and the reason why I lightened up on the sugar, is the sugar, when it gets hot, the acids release, okay? And when the acids release, all is left behind is that delicious sugar. And some of you have had that, you know, the balsamic reduction, like pancake syrup. That's why it's so good. So look, I'm kind of sloppy now, right? Which is okay. And you can just smell, you can smell the coffee notes. You can put the maple, you can put the blueberry, they got tons of them. You can get whatever you want. And it's just as good as like that. So I'm throwing this in, right? And I'm going for, believe it or not, I'm going for almost a thinner bread pudding. You can put this in a bread pan or whatnot. But what I'm doing is I'm doing that for a reason, because I want to be able to, believe it or not, make French toast out of this in the morning because after we get done with eating this for dessert, we're gonna have a ton of it. And now I can take those wedges of delicious bread pudding and again coat them in egg and then fry them up as French toast. Likewise, I can take my leftover French toast, cut it up, put it in the batter, and then call it a day. Pretty cool, huh? Now then, I'm gonna drizzle some of this lovely vinegar on top. And then I just know that some of you people love a little bit of chocolate. This is, I have a ridiculous amount of chocolate in the house, but I'm just gonna throw in just a couple pieces of chocolate. Nothing too crazy, but just enough to have some fun with it. You can mix this in with the normal batter. I don't care, I'm totally cool with it. But look at that. This goes in a 350 oven. I'm just gonna keep an eye on it. I'm gonna give it about 30 minutes. When it gets nice and crusty on top, you kind of know when it's done. If you like a more moist bread pudding, more power to you. You know, the second it gets brown, leave it in. But if not, just let it bake. It's fun. You can use a thermometer to see if it's clean, or a toothpick. But again, I hope you like these recipes, you guys. I hope you're able to hit the donate button. I didn't donate a ton of money, but I know that I could donate a couple bucks, and a couple dollars goes a long way when you're feeding a kid from Kids Food Basket. And you know, just do what you can, do whatever's comfortable for you, but at the same time, don't waste any food. So keep watching me, okay? I love you all, and be safe and be well fed.